after the coffee break, and I will be delighted to see you again here. See you soon. Thank you. Sergei Leuchanka, Managing Director at Wialon Americas office. Please heartily welcome the panel discussion participants. Rajeev Bajaj, Albasmart automation company, a partner of Gurtam in India that developed Bus OK, complex solution for bus monitoring with video surveillance and driving quality control. Also, warmly welcome Sam Tan from Streamax company, China. Streamax Technology is a leading mobile surveillance solution provider with a global perspective, which was founded in 2002 and since then is strongly committed to competitive mobile surveillance. Finally, let us welcome Lian Zhu, Howen Technologies company that was established in 2008 and has become the leading supplier and solution provider on vehicle surveillance systems in China. Dear panelists, we wish you a most productive discussion. Please kindly note that 45 minutes are allocated to the panel. Thank you.
Tatiana, thank you so much for doing the introduction. So I'll just and thank you for to the audience for attending. I'll try to make it as interactive as possible. I have some questions prepared, so we'll go through 2 or 3, and then I'd like to open up to the audience to see if you guys have questions, so that we can have a conversation here. So first question that I have is actually directed at Sam and Leon. Given you guys represent manufacturers here in the panel, could you define video telematics for the audience so that we can better set the stage for this conversation?
Yes, so I think telematics is the hardware and the software to generate and analyze the data for companies to manage fleets. And when we talk about video telematics, it's basically adding video to telematics. So I think this concept is same for company management. There is a TV show called Undercover Boss, and the CEO will put some mix-up to work with the frontline employee, so they can see what is actually happening in the company, and what can be improved. So sometimes the financial statement cannot tell you the truth. I think this is the same for vehicle telematics. Video telematics is to let you see what is actually happening.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sam. Leon, do you agree with that definition, or you want to add anything?
Once upon a time, and actually I asked one client, what does video telematics, what does telematics this word means? Because actually in China, you cannot even find one suitable word to translate this telematics word. But the other guy gave me a very helpful information. He said that you can take it as telecommunication plus informatics. So actually, we think that plus in the video is also one kind of telematics. One kind of informatics. So we are not talking about video plus telematics, but the telematics plus the video information. And secondly, the more important thing is about the telecommunication, because when talking about the video, the data can be heavier, so we need to find a way to solve about a suitable telecommunication way to transmit this video. So this is my understanding.
All right, excellent. So now, since we've now kind of better defined the topic here, next question I have is actually for Rajeev. So Rajeev, you have several hundred MDVRs deployed and operating on Wialon right now. Could you share some specifics about the project that you've accomplished with MDVRs and how Wialon is used in conjunction with mobile DVRs?
Yeah, so we are using mobile DVRs in several different projects and several different applications. One of the main application is Bus OK, which is our tracking platform for school bus tracking. So when we are working with schools, what we realize that people are more interested to see what's happening inside the bus. When the kids are traveling, there is bullying, there is drivers who are driving rash. Telematics can provide you GPS location, it can provide you engine analytics, it can provide you harsh speeding, driving, but it cannot provide you an evidence. So with video, you get an additional evidence, not only for the driver behavior monitoring, but what's inside the cargo, what you're carrying, whether it's children or whether it's expensive cargo or whether you're carrying cash. We started with the bus OK to support school transport management, but then now we are using it for cash in transit applications as well. Cash vans, where we are providing a solution for ATM fulfillment with video as well as tracking. Express cargo, there is a lot of delivery happening for mobile phones. So when mobile phones land at the airport, majority of them are imported in India from the airport, and it goes to the warehouses. Each truck is carrying more than $1 million of cargo. So to add on security to that, they were putting gunmen on the vehicles. So that is where they are replacing gunmen with video, reduces the cost of operations, improves efficiency. Another application what we're using is for oil and compressed gases, where driver safety and driver behavior is very important. When you have a 50-ton oil tanker going on a high speed, becomes extremely important to control how he drives, whether he is smoking or whether he is distracted during the driving, because one accident can not only cause a major loss to the cargo, it can destroy the entire township if it gets an accident. So these are a few applications where we are doing. Of course, school transportation is the largest because we started earlier, but we see video moving in several other verticals.
Excellent. Thank you for that overview, Rajeev. So sounds like certainly that added level of protection and visibility into the safety of assets of people that on the basic level is monitored by regular telematics, but video adds that additional layer of protection and oversight. Sam, Leon, if we look at the stats on for video solutions in the hardware section of Gurtam.com, clearly Streamax and Howen are the leaders in terms of the units connected at this point to our platform. What would you say separates you from the other providers that work with Wialon integrators?
Thank you. When I work with the Gurtam partners, I think from a partner empowerment perspective. What does it mean is that I want to use the Streamax resources to help them get into the video telematics market and make them successful. Streamax is the leading manufacturer of MDVR. We manufacture more than 600,000 devices every year, so we can offer a wide range of high-quality products. Also, our AI development team developed a lot of AI features that can create extra values on top of the video. And also, we provide a good technical support. Last couple of months, we piloted in US market. Me and my technical support, Oli, we literally went to every single partner that have technical problems.
Thank you, Sam. Leon?
Firstly, thanks for Gurtam, because Mr. Sergei also mentioned that we are listed quite in the front word in the list of the video hardwares. Actually, the video hardwares is quite different from other trackers or field level sensors or other asset trackers, because what is the purpose of using the video is just like Rajeev has shared. The first concern is about safety. Whenever any safety disaster or accidents happens, the first thing they want to retrieve the video. So the video hardware itself should be reliable firstly. So for Howen, we always put the reliability on the first concern from the beginning of any design. And secondly, we think that because of the video telematics is another one part of the niche market for the telematics. So when we're talking about the niche market, we need the solution design, the flexibility. So we provide quite a flexible support and customizations for the projects or for customers. And when talking about the technologies, our principle is to not to just to introduce the latest technology. We prefer to stay with our customers. For example, any new ideas or any new breakthroughs we have overcome is based on the discussion and the listening to our customers. So we stay our customers to provide the reliable and the flexible solutions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So I'm gonna ask one more question before opening it up to audience. So, the next question is, what worries or concerns may Wialon partners have when they decide to offer a video solution for the first time? So this is actually a question to all of you guys. So we'll start with Rajeev.
So video is more complex than a normal GPS tracking. When it comes to GPS tracking, it's a small device, requires very low battery. But when it comes to video, it's a mobile DVR, and then you are adding cameras on top of it. All of them require power. All of them require wiring and cameras to be installed at different locations in the truck or a bus or a car. Training in terms of installation and providing proper cabling and conduiting and connectors is very important, because you can't be servicing a truck which is 500 kilometers away from your location. It'll become next to impossible, because most of the telematic partners, they are used to charging, servicing for trackers, which are low cost, and it's just 3 wires or sometimes 2 wires to be installed. But when it comes to cameras and mobile DVRs, it becomes a little complex. And engineers to be trained to not only install and then service remotely. Data consumption is pretty high. When it comes to video, you want to view live, you have to have plans worth maybe 5 GB monthly, or maybe 10 GB, or maybe sometimes 2 GB daily plans. So the data plans are costly. Overall investment in the video telematics installation is also expensive. So when it comes to selling to the customers, customers see you as a GPS installer, and they try to rate you at a maybe $100 kind of a product. But when it turns out that it is a $2,000 worth of installation, so they put their hands behind this, say, no, we don't want it, or give us at low cost or whatever. So these are some of the challenges. One of the challenges I would definitely like to highlight is on the technical support side from the OEM side. Majority of the manufacturers, they have their service centers in China or maybe Hong Kong or other locations. But if we are installing systems in India or maybe UAE or any other location, if something goes wrong, it becomes next to impossible to send the whole lot of equipment back to China and get it repaired. Cost, duties, freights coming back and forth. If it is a GPS tracker, you come to telematics show and bring 5 faulty pieces and you can replace with the manufacturers. You can't do that with mobile DVRs and CCTV systems.
So just to summarize quickly, the quality of installation is the key, because you cannot afford, to come back and, do the tweaks, given that it's fairly complex system that it has to be done right in the first place. The cost, right, that you have to, manage in terms of your sales process to the customer, that is certainly increased. Sam, Leon, do you guys agree with those? What else do you see as those hurdles that the integrators have to jump through?
Yes, I agree with Rajeev. But I actually, from my opinion, I have 2 main questions that partners ask me. The first one is whether your solution fits your customer needs. Basically, whether we can sell through your product. For that, Streamax, we go one step further. We want to go to the end users to know what actually they need, and then build a solution with a reasonable price. And the second thing is whether your solution is a complete and reliable solution. So for that, before we launch in US, we have done 2 months testing, including data consumptions, reliability. We build a device maintenance server so we can update the firmware and change configuration over the air. And for that, after we think it's ready, then we start to launch. and the partners are comfortable to sell.
Thank you.
Actually, I couldn't agree more with Rajeev. And first, actually, we have talked about the reliability, but actually for video, I just want to propose one thing is the data. Because for any customer, no matter it is a new customer that came to ask about, inquire about this kind of video products, they would ask you how many data it would cost, no matter it is a new player or just an old player. So even for me, for myself, if you, for example, if I had a car and I want to install cameras and MDVI inside, the first concern is about the data. Because even considering the pricing difference between the MDVI and the tracker, that difference is small. Maybe half a year of your data plan already cover this. So how can we solve this? Video originally, it is not a kind of information. It is just, let's say, maybe natural signal. Even nobody watch it, even nobody analyze it. It is just rubbish, right? So we need to get something from the video, and we need to make the video lighter and lighter. And a metaphor is that, for example, like a shirt. We cannot get a fat size to fit a slim body. So we make this, no matter hardwares and data, slim to the customer's needs. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Leon. Does anyone in the audience have any comments so far, questions on? Okay, we've got quite a few. Please, yeah, please use the microphone.
Right, but when you go into the video side, it's a different world. All right, so your customers need to understand that. So they'll talk to you about price. There's always an issue. If you focus on price and you give them a bad solution because they want a low cost, so we get told every time, oh no, we don't want hard drives. Okay, we won't sell you the solution. We will not install an SD-based solution. So if we buy our equipment, we get it from Streamax, they install the 2 tera drive, and then we explain to the customer, okay, what do you want to do with this? Or we want to extract data. How? How are you going to extract 500 gig of data over your Wi-Fi connection? I mean, this is reality. They don't understand. Why we don't use SD cards? None of the customers want to pay $40 for an SD card, a true professional SD. So we have one deployment. They didn't want them. They've gone through 100 SD cards at the moment that have failed in practice because the MDVR is writing to that card all the time. So what we notice, the card goes in, first month it's okay, second month we start getting error 2 on the card starting not to write, okay. By month 3, the card's not writing anymore. Customer has an accident, wants the video, sorry, that hasn't written for a month. Your guys are supposed to be watching this and taking the cards. The difference on the whole thing is that the education to the customer, because if you don't do it, you are setting yourself up for a really heavy hit because he'll come back to you like live streaming. Every customer expects to see it the way that you download movies, right? It doesn't work like that. What happens is it'll jump, it'll jerk, because you're getting a live stream. It's not a buffered stream. So if the telco has a bit of an issue, all of a sudden it'll stop. The thing will freeze until you get it going. The storage side, we said when they want high quality. Okay, 5 cameras, 1080p storage. You do realise how much you're going to chew up. Our data plans at the moment, 6 gig is the minimum data plan we take for video. And we chew that up, depending on the customer, in around 2 to 3 weeks. So when you talk to them, you really got to let them know what this is, right? Because then they'll complain about, oh, we don't want to pay the cost of the data plan. Yeah, but you want high quality video. So how are you going to do it? And then you should really have your own media server. We made that change and went off the Streamax server to our own. and now we manage all the video. Well, the customer can install it, manage it himself. So it's not just little bits of components. There's a lot of moving parts when they go into video to get it right. Otherwise, what we found when we first went into it, we let the customer tell us, and oh my God, we inherited problems like you wouldn't believe. Because we didn't know. We thought, oh yeah, this is okay, we'll put this out there. We found we're better off for that customer to say no.
Okay, quite a few warnings there from John. I think one of the initial observations that you made there was had to do with storage, right, on the SD card versus hard drive. Maybe that's something that you guys could comment on in terms of your views of, you know, what, you know, if one is preferable over the other, and you know what you do with your product.
Actually, John proposes still a very, very important aspect for video, because when talking about video, we need to writing, we need to storage, and also transmission. The video data is too much heavy, maybe 100 times of the GPS data, 1,000 times of the GPS data. So, but for now, the storage media is there. We only have, let's say, several limited options. Maybe SD cards, maybe the mechanical HDD, maybe the SSD. We cannot, for now, we cannot find a very efficient way to enlarge this kind of media storage and make a 10 TB HDD or make a 1 TB SD card. For now, it is not possible. So we need to find a way to slim the data, to make the data as small as possible. And secondly, when talking about the choice, the options for SD cards, either the HDD, according to our market experience, it varies. It is quite interesting. For example, in some areas, they prefer the SD card, no matter how small it is, because they think the pricing, the cost, maybe they just choose 32 gigabytes. And in other places, they just choose the HDD. No SD cards in that country, because already they have got experience, or maybe rumors that they think that global, inside that country, they believe that the SD card is not reliable. But even though we still can find a very reliable industrial SD cards to enable for very stable storage inside of the MDVR. And when talking about the, let's say, the storage in the server, it is also optional. If you just keeping your CMS server storage bigger and bigger and unlimited, I think that is also insane. Just like you watch the live streaming every minute, every second. Nobody did like that. So we also need to slim the data, just to store the data that include the important information. So this is what we mobile DVR manufacturers have to do to solve these kind of problems. Okay, thank you.
Sam, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I have some different opinions. So I went to a concrete plant management. They install 70 of our MDVRs. When I get into the vehicles, I know that SD card solution doesn't work because it's just so dusty, a lot of dirt covers it, so they ask for SSD solutions. And for video downloading, luckily that company is very professional in Wi-Fi downloading, like the network building, so they implement the Wi-Fi downloading, and then also our hard drive can be pulled and changed quickly. But you know, some scenario, the SD card is needed. For example, now the dash cam is very popular in US market. So you can't have a hard drive for that. We need to have an SD card. So I think for SD card, the ultimate solution is like we did a malfunction alert. If it happens, we're gonna send the alerts to the cloud. So to like remind the customer to change it immediately. Because no matter how good the SD card is, as you said, it's gonna fail someday. So we need an alert to send to customers.
Sorry, something to address. The SD cards, maybe, let's say, why it comes to problems often. The essence is that, firstly, the storage is smaller. And the second thing is about the writing speed of the interface. So let's back to the essence that we mean that what if we can make the rewriting cycle smaller? For example, the life expectancy of one SD card can sustain 500 overwriting, 500 cycling overwriting. If we do not need that many overwriting cycling, we can make the SD cards life expectancy times more. For example, previously, 1 year we used up all this 500 times. Maybe we make the data lighter, make the writing data smaller. We can make it maybe 2 years or 3 years to use it up, that kind of overwriting cycles. Okay.
Okay, Leon. Rajeev, you wanted to add something to that?
I would like to add on something here. So I think it becomes very important for the system integrator to do right consulting with the customer, to really understand the project, that why do you need video for? How much do you want to store, and why do you want to store? With my experience, we try and talk to the customer and have less and less of storage, because managing storage on hard disk drives, as John rightly said, it's not so easy. You can't write more and more, and even similar is the problem with SD cards. So we go and talk to the customer. What kind of evidence do you want? Do you want an evidence with hash breaking to be linked with video? Okay, 10 seconds of clip, upload to the cloud, it's safe, lies for months. Good enough. You want a SOS button pressed, and you want a 10 seconds before and 10 seconds after a video, make it a clip, push it onto the cloud, it saves there. So you need to really understand that why do you need that much of storage? Why? Some customers come back to us, we need 30 days of storage. That says how much your bus or a truck drives on daily basis. It says it does 8 hours. So why do you need 30 days of storage on the car? If something happens, if we want to see, I said if you don't know that something has happened in your truck in 2 to 3 days' time, don't expect to run your business like that. Because if something happens, if there's a loss of asset, you have to know it 2 or 3 days maximum. So we normally don't advise more than 5 to 7 days of storage, because hard disk drives, 2 terabytes managing, these are mechanical hard disk drives. And SSDs are much more expensive than SATA drives. So these are very good products, industrial grade Seagate SSDs, but then the cost is also something which we need to recover from the customer. Mm-hmm. So right consulting, what is the use case, what is the application, to understand about the project, that is something what is more important.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rajeev. I think on that question or something else? Just in the interest of time, we spent like 10 minutes on that question. So just going back to the point of, what are the worries of the integrators who are just starting to, considering offering the video telematics. I think one of you guys already mentioned in terms of the figuring out the data plan, right? With video, it can be much more unpredictable than it would with regular telematics. What kind of tips would you offer to someone who considers putting together a video solution and trying to, pick the right data plan for it?
Okay. Actually, the data plan depends on how much data you predict that you will use. Actually, this can also be flexible. We have projects that have done. Customer will choose the bundle plan. For example, they do not know how much time you will live streaming. You will get the backup, video clips backup for each specific cars, but they have the total plan for the whole fleets. For example, maybe we have a customer, they have 10,000, more than 10,000 fleets, 10,000 vehicles in their fleets, but they just choose 500 gigabytes data from their cooperated telecom carrier. So that 500 gigabytes already cover the needs of this 10,000, more than 10,000. And on the other hand, I still want to address that it is our job to slim the data. Just like Rajeev has said, nobody watched the live streaming. And it will also be a misunderstanding for any new MDVR or dash camera player that they think that I made live streaming. But actually, live streaming is just a good way to show off this kind of video solution. But nobody is sitting here to watch the live streaming to wait his driver to make some mistake, to wait for the accidents, right? The only thing is that this is a kind of habit that has come back from the stationary CCTV solution. In the CCTV solution, for example, for this hotel, maybe the security guy is sitting in the office watching everybody of us, every corner of this Marriott hotel, because he wants to see any illegal person under this hotel, any missing stores. And the best thing is not the reason he do this not because he's responsible, not because he want to pretend from accidents. It is because this live streaming does not cost 3G data, right? So it is using the IP, using the Ethernet. So one still come back to this data plan. It depends on the local conditions of the carrier's plans. And still, we need to do something to educate the customer to choose the best plan and to make our products better with smaller, lighter plan.
So pulling the data across multiple SIM cards and then educating the customer on the live video feed, it's not something that is expected to be widely used, right, as far as controlling that consumption. Sam?
Yes, so when I joined the fleet management division, I thought that no one gonna live stream video. But when I visited a customer, a Gurtam partners in Michigan, he literally told me that their specialty is provide long streaming. And the scenario is like a mobile car detail shop. They install a dash cam and face the Ferrari they are detailing. So the owner wants to live stream. They want to know how this car detailer handled the vehicles, whether it's compliant, it's regulated, or he is messing up the Ferrari. So they literally can do 15 hours live streaming under 1 gigabyte. And I used to own a car detail shop. I understand that scenario. So I think first, technology is very important. What they do is they lower the bit rate to 128 kbps to provide that kind of long live streaming. But what Leo says is completely right, it's the customer expectation. So for him, because of he know exactly how much data they're gonna use, then he made a calculation and tell the customer, hey, this is the data you're gonna use. And sometimes I know the partners, the end users, they overuse data for months, but they don't care because of an emergency. That's fine. But overall, we need to give them the Excel sheet that show them how much data they're gonna use based on the setting.
Thank you. Rajeev, you wanted to add something to that?
So you need to really do consulting with, I will repeat that, to calculate actually. There are bandwidth calculators available from each of the manufacturers. You can draw up an Excel sheet, how much you want to store on board and how much you want to stream, how much data you will consume to push the evidence back to the cloud. So you will need to do all those calculations. And these should be done because if you want to come up with an optimized plan, that is the right way. I would just like to add one thing. Please don't get discouraged by whatever we are saying here. There are challenges, and you have to overcome challenges. The market is changing. Technology is changing. Prices of data are coming down from 4G to 5G, from 264, H.264 to H.265. So there is a lot more compression happening. Video MDVRs are getting smaller day by day. And eventually I see a very large part of the market changing from pure telematics to video telematics, at least the niche applications. If pure track and trace, yes, but when it comes to expensive cargo, high value, when it comes to life, there will be no option but to use video telematics. So I would encourage all of you to try out video telematics. Be careful, don't try and bid for large 1,000 vehicle, 500 vehicle kind of projects. Start small, 10, 20, and grow with it and build your team. So that would be my advice to everybody.
Thank you, Rajeev.
If you're going to get into this, I would strongly advise you, buy a device and play with it for 6 months so you know how it works. 2, get a damn good relationship with your telco provider. I'll tell you why. Most telco providers optimise their video side for which part? Download or upload? Most of them, it's download, right? Your video systems work the opposite way. So if your telco is not optimising the upload side, it takes a long time for that to upload. We go and talk to the telcos, we're going to put this many MDVRs in this area, what's your network like? And we need you to optimise the upload link. Because normally most people are downloading videos. Right, so that's what the telco's optimised for. So if you don't let the telco know and he doesn't start planning his network to allow for you now having 50, 60 trucks with video in this area, they can do it. I mean, they can do it in their network planning. But if you get a good relationship with them, they're your best ally in the video area you can have. But please, get a unit and play with it. Destroy it, break it, whatever, because it's better you knowing what it does than it happening in your customer.
Thank you, John, for that advice. So we're rapidly running out of time. So I would like to ask the last question. If you guys could spend not more than a minute each on it. So what are the key considerations, the most important considerations that one should consider picking the right video telematics provider? And we'll start with Leon.
Actually, I think this is quite a bit duplicated questions about, because we have been talking about these concerns from our manufacturer side or from the customer's needs side. So if we, just like John and Rajeev has shared, the customer base for the video market now is quite a bit, I mean the market is a bit to be educated. They shared a very good experience about how to coach the potential customer to use the video telematics. That is very important, and we do thank this kind of customer to help us to cultivate this kind of market. And our suggestion is to get the most reliable one. Firstly, get the most reliable one, and to ask her what the one who have used the mobile DVR or the cameras, ask her their suggestions. You can suggest suggestions from John, from Rajeev, and they will tell you the truth, no matter it is which hardware you should choose or what data plan you should choose, what kind of platform, because they already have very good experience like this.
Thank you. Sam?
I will make it short. One word, support, because there are a lot of moving parts, options for the video stuff. You just need an expert to sit beside you to help you, right? And to test the data with you, to work with you on some settings. Our company now, the R&D, actually work with the sales directly sometimes to help customers solve problems. That's the most important thing, support.
Thank you. Rajeev, with you having a lot of practical experience, what's your take?
So I would say all manufacturers are good. I think you need to validate, evaluate, and build a relationship. Again, video telematics is not like a GPS tracker. You can't switch from one manufacturer, one make to every 15 days. Okay, I will do 50 trucks with this product and 100 with that. You can't do that because you need to maintain inventory, you need to maintain spare parts, you probably need to set up a video streaming server in your country. So spend your time, validate each and every manufacturer. All are good. Try and visit their factories. Make sure you're choosing a right partner. So that would be my advice.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. With that, we'll wrap up. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Thank you.